The San Francisco 49ers just scored a touchdown to put themselves up 17-3. Oh my goodness, in the fourth quarter. There is a minute 34 left to go. Oh boy, it is crunch time right now. This is where Robert Saleh, 49ers defense needs to come in, needs to step up. Oh my goodness. What a massive, massive throw by San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy to put them in a position to make the touchdown. And then Brock, wow, redemption coming through to Jake Tonjes. But now you have Sam Darnold on the move, trying to get trying to at least, they got to score a touchdown right here. This is a wild one that we got on our hands. What a crazy catch by Jake Tonjes to come away with that. Holy crap. Oh, this game has been up and down. What a great PBU right there by Upton Stout, elevating, making a play. Wow, this is a crazy one, man. Oh, we just got a big play to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Wow, this is crazy. I can't even post fast enough. All right. How are we feeling? 49ers got to keep the Seattle Seahawks out of the end zone here. 17-3, first down. Sam Darnold drops back. Ooh. D. Winters almost coming away with a potential interception, but we got a flag on the play against the San Francisco 49ers defense. Offsides, Bryce Huff. Oh, boy. So now it is 1st and 5, 1:02 left on the clock. So what did they have him as? Lined up in the neutral zone? I don't know. It didn't look like that to me. But all right, here we go. 1st and 5. Looks like it's going to be a handoff. Nick Bosa comes through with the tackle. Again, score is 17-3. The clock is winding down, just about to go under to 50 seconds remaining. Wow. Sam Darnold drops back out of the shotgun. Fumble? Is that a fumble? That a fumble? Oh, let's go. We got a fumble. Yo, Spam Dubs in the chat. That looks like a fumble recovery. Oh my goodness. 49ers defense looks like they have come through. Oh, that looks like game. That looks like game right there. Oh, does a bear crap in the woods, baby. Oh my goodness. This game is crazy. This game has all the ups and the downs. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. Wow. Forced fumble by Nick Bosa with the victory formation. The San Francisco 49ers, wow, we come away with the dub. Oh my goodness. This game definitely had a lot of ups and downs. This was not an easy one at all. Oh my goodness. Drop your dubs in the chat. San Francisco 49ers go up to Seattle. Come away with the victory, and it is sealed. Nick Bosa pushes Abe Lucas into Sam Darnold's throwing motion. The ball gets knocked out because as Sam's going back to throw, he hits, and then the ball comes out. Nick Bosa falls on it, and that is how the San Francisco 49ers go into Seattle, take the dub week one. It wasn't pretty. There was a lot of ups and downs. Jake Moody, field goal unit, a couple interceptions by Brock Purdy, but in the end, the defense, you got to give credit where credit is due. Jake Moody came back. He made his kicks. I don't think Jake Moody's out the doghouse yet, but gave the 49ers a chance. And then Brock Purdy delivers an absolute dime to Ricky Pearsall deep downfield. And as a result, puts the 49ers in position to make a play. Brock Purdy rolls out, finds Jake Tonges in the back of the end zone. I mean, kind of a risky throw, but a hell of a catch. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh boy. I can't wait to see what the reactions are going to be on this game. This one has had all the ups and downs, everything. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. That is one way to come out and get a dub to start the season. That one was, the 49ers really do know how to get the blood pressure rolling in these games. Oh boy. Woo! I need a breather. Because 49ers Nick Bosa just called game. Incredible finish to an ugly game. Hey, listen, guys, not every game is going to be pretty. Not every game is just going to come out, be executing up and down the field. Sometimes you got to win the ugly ones, and a win is a win. This one is huge. The 49ers, again, have a lot of stuff to clean up. There's definitely areas to improve. The 49ers are going to be dealing with some injuries here, so we are going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to hear from Kyle Shanahan here and see what the severity are. Obviously, George Kittle left the game with the hamstring. Juwan Jennings left the game. So, wow. This is a big one. 49ers come away with the dub. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Brock Purdy goes 26 of 35, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns with 2 interceptions. He added 5 rushes on the ground as well. Christian McCaffrey made it through the whole game, But man, I know that one had to have your blood pressure rolling. Whew! 17-3 is your final. Wow. 49ers win in Seattle. 49ers go 1-0 to start the season. You get a big win over a division rival. This obviously is huge when it comes to playoff implications later on down the road. Now the 49ers have the potential to own this series. The 49ers will play the Seattle Seahawks again at home in week 18. But man, oh man, that was a crazy one. All right, so I see a lot of people in the chat already talking. What do the 49ers do with Jake Moody? 49ers, Jake Moody comes out. He misses a short field goal, and then the field goal unit gets blocked, and then he comes back and he hits his field goal. What do you think? How do you handle this one? We talked about this, I think, in the lead up to this game. One of the things that I would like to see to make me feel comfortable with Jake Moody is for him to go on a streak right out the gate. We talked about this. Make all the kicks, starting with, didn't matter, just a couple weeks, make all your kicks. And unfortunately, right out the gate, missed the first kick. And it was an ugly one. It was a layup. It was one that you gotta have. So I know that they came back, they won, but I mean the 49ers, they have to have a conversation internally, because this is going to be this is it. This is life with Jake Moody. I do believe that it won't get better. I believe that this is just kind of where it is with him. I think this is where, you're going to have to live with these ups and downs. And I don't think that the 49ers should do that. I think they should potentially look elsewhere, because I think Jake Moody has proven that this is probably going to be the likely outcome for the majority of the season. So I think you just got to cut your losses at a certain point and move on. But I don't know. I don't know if the 49ers will do that again. He rebounded and he made his kicks in the end. But that obviously is going to be a huge talking point, because I know 49ers fans, they're kind of done. There's no confidence with the fans. There's no confidence with a lot of people when it comes to Jake Moody, and that is a hard place to be in. And just like these games, the margins of victory is just, they're paper thin, man. So tough. It's tough. But, there was some good, there was some bad. I thought Brock Purdy, it was a bit of a mixed bag. I thought the first drive by the San Francisco 49ers was absolutely phenomenal. George Kittle, Brock Purdy, they picked up right where they left off. Ricky Pearsall had a hell of a game. 4 receptions, 108 yards. What a phenomenal performance by Pearsall. Christian McCaffrey did decently well for the most part. 22 carries, 69 yards. A modest 3.1 per clip. But CMC also added 9 receptions for 73 yards. So he went over 100 total yards on the day. So good for Christian McCaffrey. And again, George Kittle had on the first drive 4 receptions and a touchdown. You also had Jake Tonjes, who came in and filled in. He had not only his first catch in the NFL in this game, but his first touchdown, and that ended up being the game winner here. So amazing. Absolutely amazing. there's a lot to clean up. There's a lot to clean up, but there's also a lot of good as well. We got to see Brian Robinson in his first action with the 49ers. He rushed 9 carries for 33 yards at 3.7 a clip. Nick Bosa with arguably the biggest play of the game, getting the sack fumble at the end. I thought Nick Bosa played well today. I thought he was showing up all over the place. I thought he was pretty impressive. D. Winters, I thought had a really strong game as well. Marquise Siegel came away with his first fumble recovery. I think the fumble was created by Sam Okwuonu, so it was a really strong play by Sam. Really good play by Marquise Siegel to come away. It was his first start. So not bad. Not bad for a lot of the guys. I thought Renardo Green had one of the biggest plays of the game late, where he broke up the pass that looked like it was originally caught by Jackson Smith and Jigba. I thought that was a really, really solid play. I think that was a big momentum swinger in this game. I think if they completed that pass, I think that ultimately led to the Seattle Seahawks punting. And so that to me was a huge, huge play. I thought the 49ers run defense at times was giving up some big plays, but in the end, they were able to do enough to get the win. You know, credit to guys like Fred Warner. You know, it looks like Fred really busted up his nose quite a bit, but he was able to stay in the game and able to keep playing. So I thought Fred did solid as well. Honestly, I didn't see a whole lot from Michael Williams. He did have a assisted tackle. Alfred Collins had an assisted tackle. So, you know, but I want to see what the tape bears out to and see what that looks like. But yeah, a lot of good stuff to take away from this one. Also, a lot to work on. It wasn't a perfect day in the office, but it was a good enough day for the 49ers to win 17-13 against Seattle. So I'm hyped on that. Seeing right now that the Rams won. Who are the Rams playing? I haven't kept an eye on that game at all. Been locked in over here with the 49ers. Got all my post notifications turned off. They beat the Texans. Okay. What was the score of that one? But man, definitely hyped. Definitely hyped for the 49ers in a game that could have slipped away, could have slipped out of their grasps. But overall 14-9. Okay. So, let's do biggest takeaways. Drop your biggest takeaways in the chat. Drop your biggest takeaways. So, Detail says ugliest win of all time, but I couldn't be happier. I think that's a good way. I think that's a great takeaway from this game. Again, it's not always going to be pretty, but you got to get the dub some way, somehow, and you got to find a way when everything seemingly is going wrong. The 49ers do that, and you know, it's a double-edged sword. I'll talk about it like this, because one of the things that irks me sometimes about this team is this element of it. The fact that they allow teams to hang around. They allow, like, that's the way that I look at this. I do believe the 49ers probably could have won and beat Seattle maybe by double digits. Even, but the problem is that they sometimes are their own worst enemy. And that is what I felt was prevalent in this game, and why it was even close, why Sam Darnold was even in the red zone in the first place to have an opportunity, is because it was the 49ers either mistakes or making just poor plays or poor decisions. That's the reason why this game was close, I think. And so again, it's a double-edged sword, because on the flip side, there's a lot to improve upon. There's a lot to correct. There's a lot to get right, making better throws, not throwing into double, triple coverage, not forcing it, trying to protect Brock a little bit better. Some of those interceptions were in part due to just the pressure, all that kind of stuff. Hey, shout out my guy. Appreciate the super sticker. So again, I do think that for the most part, it's a great win, but it was a sketchy win. There's a lot to correct. There's a lot to improve upon. And that is always one of the challenging ones with this team, is they can allow teams to hang around. They can allow teams to keep it close, and some of the losses that we see can also be due to that element of it. But there's a lot to correct. So a win is a win from Brad to Brad. Exactly right. So the beauty of these types of games is you can go through the tape, you can go through the places to clean up while you've won with a W in the win column. So that is one of the massive benefits of coming out on top in one of these kind of, ugly games, if you will. So I do think, though, one of the promising things from this is that there does look like a path forward where the 49ers could absolutely, again, clean up a lot of this, continue to come back and put together even better performances as they continue to move forward. I believe the 49ers will be traveling to the New Orleans Saints next week. You want to talk about a game where you can kind of clean some stuff up. You go on the road. You start out with a win, back-to-back wins on the road before you come back home for week 3. That's a great spot to be. Winning that way, being able to start your season 2-0 as you get ready to come back home for week 3, that would be huge. So good, very happy that the 49ers won this one. For real. Shout out to Jake Tonges. That was a really difficult catch. I mean, it looked like a heavily contested catch. He had to really go up and high point that thing and bring it in. That was a difficult catch, man. And this is a guy who hasn't literally caught a ball in an NFL game until today. And he was able to make the biggest play of his life. Brock Purdy gave him a shot, rolled out to the right, put it up, let him get it. Man, I thought the play that kind of put them in position was probably one of my favorite Brock Purdy deep throws that I have seen him make. Brock uncorking that thing and wait a second. But I thought that was a great throw. But just now, according to Kyle Shanahan, Kyle says there is no question that Jake Moody will remain the 49ers kicker, which again, not surprised by this. You know, the 49ers, if they're gonna have Jake Moody kick, they gotta back him up. They gotta keep, they gotta keep supporting the guy. But as it sounds right now, the Jake Moody experience will continue. And again, I expect a lot of what we saw today the rest of the year. I was really hoping that Jake Moody could get off to a hot start and he could really kind of steady the ship, build some early momentum. But unfortunately, it started the exact opposite. He started out right out the gate with probably some of the worst momentum you could have by missing a short kick. And yeah, that is an unfortunate one. But this is what I would say us as fans will have to deal with on game days. Again, if you're just joining us, Kyle Shanahan backs up Jake Moody. Jake Moody remains the kicker for the foreseeable future here. So anyone who was hoping that Kyle Shanahan would come out and say that the 49ers are moving on from Jake Moody, not the case. And yes, this chat is lit. Shout out to everyone who are in this chat. We got the dub. Might not have been the cleanest dub, but we're still vibing. So do me a favor. Smash that like button. Drop your fire emojis in the chat. Spam those fire emojis because boy, oh boy, we got the dub. That's all that matters. But yeah, we gotta work some things out. We gotta work some things out for sure. Oh, the chat is literally on fire. They're burning it down. Look at them. It's a dub when we get the chat on fire. Let's go. Shout out to my guy, Kurtzer Tech. Appreciate you, my boy, dropping the super sticker. Look at the chat. It's literally lit right now. But Jake Moody will be your kicker for the foreseeable future. In regards to, I see someone asking what's the word on Juwan and Kittle. I haven't really seen anything yet to indicate where we are at with that. So I'm not watching the presser right now, so I'm just kind of keeping my eye on some of the updates that are coming out right now. And so far I haven't seen any updates to the health of George Kittle and Juwan Jennings. Again, George Kittle went out early with a hamstring injury. Juwan Jennings left with a shoulder, and he did not return. So have not seen anything yet. And that right now is, I think, the other concern. I think there's two main concerns from this game. Jake Moody and the injuries. I think with the other things like the turnovers, some of the penalties, those things, I think those are all correctable. Brock Purdy forcing um, two interceptions into bracketed double, triple coverage. Not ideal, not typical of Brock, but again, correctable. And to Brock Purdy's credit, led the game winning drive. So keep that in mind. Yes, Brock did make mistakes, and that's one of the more commendable things you can do as a football player. Not perform maybe at your highest, at your height, or at your best, but then come back when it matters most and get the dub. And that's exactly what Brock Purdy did. The ice in his veins. Again, before that report came out about Jake Moody, what I was trying to say was that deep throw to Ricky Pearsall was one of the cleanest deep throws I have seen from Brock Purdy in a game. When you talk about just letting that thing rip and dropping it in the bucket in stride against the left sideline, that was a beauty. That was a beautiful throw. The pressure was on, just through a honestly atrocious interception. And that's where you can look at Brock and be like, "Oh, we're fine. Brock, we can learn. We can watch the film. We can go ahead and say, all right, we're not going to throw into triple coverage anymore." But he kept dealing. And that is all. And if you guys watch this channel, I always talk about that with Brock as one of my most redeeming qualities of his, is that no matter what happens, he does not shy away. He keeps attacking. He keeps fighting. He picks himself back up and keeps going. And because of that mentality, one of the huge reasons of why the 49ers won today was because of that. Because Brock Purdy didn't flinch, didn't hesitate, just kept dealing. And as a result, 49ers find themselves with a win. So now it doesn't mean there isn't anything to correct. And I want to make sure those two things are abundantly clear. But man, love it. All right, now I want to do instant grades. I'm really curious about this one because I want to see how you grade this win, because it was an ugly win. But I want to see how you grind. I want to see how you grade this one. So light up the chat, drop your grades. How would you grade the 49ers win over Seattle? Having to come back, Brock Purdy having to clutch up, Jake Tonjes coming in clutch. So I'm looking at the chat. You can see the chat right here on the screen. So you can see all the grades coming in. I would have to agree with a lot of these. I'm going to give it a C plus, B minus, right? Because it's a win. You got the W in Seattle. That isn't easy. That's never easy. So that always is going to be an accomplishment in of itself. So getting the win on the road, week 1 in Seattle, respect. You deserve some respect there. You deserve to get a good grade there. Absolutely. So that's definitely going to weigh in the 49ers' favor. That's a passing grade. So what I would say is it's not much higher than that because because of the issues, because of the mistakes, because of some of the injuries. I do think there is plenty of room for correction. And that's, I think, again, I think I was saying this in one of my pregame shows. I was saying that the first 4 weeks of the season is like a glorified preseason for these teams and the starters. And it looked that way. Looked like kind of like a preseason game for the starters. And so I think they'll be able, and I think when you're trying to evaluate games, you're trying to determine, are these issues that we see, are they uncorrectable, or can you fix them? And I think a lot of them are fixable. The ones that are a challenge are the Jake Moody situation and the injuries. But how did we feel about Robert Saleh dialing it up? I talked about this as being one of the biggest keys to victory ahead of this game. Robert Saleh versus Sam Darnold. I said it's going to be up to Robert Saleh scheming it up, making Sam Darnold very, very uncomfortable in order for the 49ers to have a chance to win this game. I thought that was the biggest matchup of this game, Robert Saleh versus Sam Darnold. And I think it's abundantly clear that Saleh won this matchup. I mean, they were scheming it up. They really were. They were, and you could see the difference in the defense compared to the last two seasons. And it's a breath of fresh air, man. It's a breath of fresh air to just look at the 49ers defense and feel comfortable and feel confident that this group is going to do something in order to be able to get this defense on the field, get the ball back to the offense. Again, 49ers, multiple turnovers, 2 turnovers by Brock Purdy, and, a couple plays that stalled out. 49ers left 6 points on the field due to missed field goal and a blocked field goal. The defense never wavered. They kept coming after this quarterback in Sam Darnold, made him uncomfortable, make him made bad reads, made him made bad throws, and ultimately, in the end, it was the defense are a big one. So Kyle Shanahan, I guess, openly talking about trying to sign Kendrick Bourne. So this is an interesting one. Kyle Shanahan, speaking to the media, says that he is open to the 49ers bringing back Kendrick Bourne in a press conference after a game. Says, quote, "I know he hasn't signed with anyone, so I know it's a possibility we can get him. I know we're still trying. Hopefully that can work out." That kind of gives me an indication that there might be a little bit more to Juwan Jennings' injury than maybe we know right now. So I find that to be interesting, that Kyle is openly talking about a free agent after a game, saying that he's still hopeful that they can sign him. So maybe it's a little bit more to the Juwan Jennings injury. And the Juwan Jennings injury is, again, just another unfortunate situation if it is a serious one, because Juwan reportedly turned down like a 3-year, $16 million a year contract. Like he turned down, apparently, like, again, I saw this from Adam Schefter. He reportedly turned down some substantial cash that would have kept him in San Francisco probably for the majority of his career. And he opted to only go for a incentive bump because he wanted to focus on free agency, and that if JJ gets hurt and misses any extended time, that is going to be a huge hit to him and his free agency next year. But again, we don't got to worry about that right now. That's not at the top of mind right now. What's at the top of mind is that we got the dub. I was sweating. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and say that I was ultra super confident, optimistic throughout that one. That one definitely tested me and my optimism and my confidence for sure. But credit again, credit goes where credit is due. 49ers sneak out the win and they get it done. So we're always hyped when the 49ers come away with a win. And again, especially in Seattle. So we're getting an injury update right now. From Nick Wagner is reporting that George Kittle hamstring and wide receiver Juwan Jennings left shoulder will have MRIs and additional testing to determine severity of the injuries in the next 24 hours. All right. So, I mean, I think the 49ers aren't going to divulge anything until they know for sure. But again, this with Juwan Jennings' injury and what he just said about Kendrick Bourne, I think there is a strong chance that whatever's happening with JJ is a little bit more severe. Offensive line played terrible. I mean, again, you guys know if you watch this channel that I typically don't do a full offensive line dive or give a ton of feedback or critiques right out the gate, just typically because it's really hard to see. But I would say, yeah, that it definitely appeared that the 49ers offensive line struggled in this game. Across the board, some of the running lanes, pass protection, all of those different types of things definitely look like wasn't up to par, but we'll see about how that looks coming up in the future. So, big win for the 49ers. They go up into Seattle, come away, get it done. We're just getting started, man. It's gonna be a season of I would have to assume of some adversity. I don't think it's gonna be smooth sailing, but as long as the 49ers can come out on top, it's gonna be good. And the 49ers just got to stack wins at the end of the day. So we think they can do it, and we'll see. We'll see what it looks like heading into week 2 for the 49ers as they get ready to face off against the Saints. Grab your cookies on the way out. You guys deserve them. You have earned them. These are cookies for winners. I'm sorry, Seattle. You do not get any. But if you thought this was just going to be a cakewalk season, I feel like today was a strong indication of what is to come. Time to thicken up that skin. 49ers got a long road ahead of them. So let's get it, but it's a good thing. It's a great thing to start 1-0. 49ers can stack a win against the Saints on the road. Starting the season 2-0 would be ideal, and the 49ers have a very, very strong chance to do so. So appreciate everyone who tapped in on this one. Smash that like button one more time for me. Share it if you're watching on X or on Facebook. I would appreciate that. Appreciate you all. We got a lot of stuff to talk about next week, but that's it for me. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.